¿Qué pasa, amigos? My name is Cindy,
What's up, amigos?
and welcome back to the Sancha and Sancho podcast. We actually have a guest, and our guest today is Ali. Ali.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so today's a little bit different. We are doing our first ever virtual podcast, so a little interesting. We have a little bit different of a setup here in the studio today, so seems like it's going to work, so I'm excited.
Yeah, so
Nice. Well, I'm honored to be your first virtual guest.
Yeah, that's awesome.
this is pretty amazing. And just like what we were mentioning a little bit earlier today, that we actually met through a mutual friend. And as we started like stalking you on Instagram, we're guilty, try to get to know you a little bit more. We kind of realized like you're like an MMA fighter. You have your own podcast. Tell me a little bit more.
I run my own business called B Nails in the cannabis industry. We're a lifestyle brand that specializes in vaporizer products. And like you mentioned, I have a podcast with who used to be my coach, actually, Jared Hardy, called the On Purpose Podcast. And there we focus on sharing experiences, tips, tactics, and strategies on empowering people to live with more purpose and passion. And then one of my passions is MMA. I love training MMA. And most recently, though, I'm actually finally transitioning into what's been one of my biggest life goals for all my life, and that's being a coach. So right now, I'm specifically coaching people on accountability, helping people do what they say they're going to do. And I finally feel like I have enough experience in things of achieving goals, like having a top podcast, like winning MMA fights, like starting my own business, to where now I'm like, okay, I finally feel like I have enough of a track record that I can help other people be accountable and hit their goals as well.
That's
Very
amazing.
nice.
Honestly, that's got to be one of the hardest things out there because everybody has goals. Everybody's a dreamer. Like, if you're not a dreamer, I don't know what you're saying, but everybody has their own personal goals and aspirations of what they want to do in life. The easy part is writing it down. I feel like that's probably the easiest thing that you can ever do. It's the first step. Just write it down. But everything that comes after that, it's almost like nobody ever accomplishes those things, and the people that do are the only ones that we see that are successful. So that's amazing, dude. That is the hardest part. I feel like I get stuck in analysis paralysis all the time with almost everything that I do, and it's a problem. I definitely have an issue, but it's hard, man. That's great.
Yeah, and I think we all do. You're not the only one.
Yeah.
And I believed for a long time that I was the only one, or there was something wrong with me, and all these other people figure it out. But it's just something that we're not taught. We're not taught. There's no goal setting 101 or how to achieve your goals 101. There's geometry and algebra and all this stuff that's not very applicable to our lives. So it's a blessing to be able to create a space and create programs and things that, through lots of trial and tribulation and thousands of dollars on mentors and books and programs and the rest, to finally put together a formula that's like, hey, this worked for me. And I was where, you were, a lot of people have been and sometimes still get stuck, but coming back to a certain framework and process of how to get there, it's a blessing to be able to share that.
And that's perfect. And honestly, that might be the perfect segue because I think that's literally what we're trying to do here is we're trying to have some sort of process that we can make for ourselves that's going to work for us. That's ultimately going to get us to where we're trying to be. So that was perfect because today we really wanted to touch base on vision boards. We've seen a couple posts that you've put online about this, and we thought that was very interesting. We've brought it up a couple times in the past couple podcasts that we've had. So we thought that this would be perfect.
Yeah.
That's really what we wanted to ask you about. Can you explain what it is? What is a vision board?
Yeah, I'd love to. And thanks again for this opportunity. I really appreciate you guys asking me the questions about this stuff because I love to talk about it and share about it.
Nice.
Thank you. So I recently got into vision boarding. It's only been like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Like, it had always been something that I was like, oh, I need to make one. I've heard of people doing that, but it wasn't until I met my girlfriend, Courtney, that we decided like, oh, we're gonna like do a vision board. And she's done so many of them. She got magazines and just cut some shit up, made it look super pretty, and put it all on there, and it was just great right away. I was like, wow. So I finally did mine, and I was doing what I think most people think a vision board is just going through the magazines, cutting out, ooh, that sounds cool. I like that phrase, or I like that picture.
Yep.
Ooh, I want a vacation there,
I love
and just
this.
putting all this stuff on a board, and there it was, and it was really cool. And I wish I still had my old vision board, but I don't. But it was there, and when I looked at it, I would feel more inspired, right? Instead of like actually have a vision for where I want to go.
Okay.
So it wasn't until I took a program by a guy, an influencer and business magnate named Dan Locke, that in his program, there was like a vision boarding part of the program, and he talks specifically about the difference between a vision board and an inspiration board.
Mm.
So the way that he described the inspiration board was that what I just shared with you guys. You cut out cool phrases and pictures, and you put all this stuff on there. And
Gotcha.
actually, I'm in my office, but I'm going to walk over here and show you guys. And inspiration boards are still great, but they're not necessarily a vision board. So this is my partner Courtney's inspiration board, and she gave me
Ooh.
permission to share it.
Nice. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, and as you can tell, there's awesome things on here. Love your heart, live your life,
Yep.
define your purpose, connect with your inner experience. All of these things that are inspiring, and that serves its purpose, right? However, like I was just sharing, it's not necessarily something that you look at that helps you clarify your vision. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the things I wanted to ask you is, I know that there might be like different types of vision boards. So like how do you know which vision board to kind of create if you're wanting to accomplish goals?
Great question. So a lot of a big buzz phrase in small business and manifesting your goals right now is the law of attraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of information out there tells us that we need to visualize these things to attract them in our life, and a big piece of that is absolutely correct. However, when it comes to an inspiration board, there's a fundamental law that is broken when we have inspiration boards like this.
Gotcha.
And that law is the law of clarity,
Mm.
being very clear. So in order to be clear, and that's the number one reason why most people don't get what they want out of life, because there's so many decisions out there. And to this day, I can get caught up in that analysis paralysis. And, sometimes even just going down the cereal aisle, it's like, damn, what cereal should I get? Like, there's so many choices. It's hard to be crystal clear on what you want.
Right.
So that's one of the biggest pieces why we don't get what we want, and why an inspiration board necessarily isn't very clear.
Mm-hmm.
However, for a vision board, if you're truly looking to accomplish a set of goals and you want to do everything that you can to manifest them, then a vision board should be maybe 4 to 8 things tops, so you can really manifest those. So this is what my vision board looks like.
Ooh.
Okay.
As you can see,
Nice.
very clear, not too many things on here. So this one on the bottom here is I want to be able to do the side splits.
Okay.
Nice.
So I got this guy on the beach. I put my face on here
That's dope.
and doing the side splits, and that ties into my MMA goal here
Mm-hmm.
of I want to earn my jiu-jitsu purple belt this year.
Nice.
So I have
That's
a
amazing.
purple belt here that I can see all the time. Thank you. And very specific things, so over here on this side, I have the exact type of Tesla that I want to get. black on black, everything, and just very specific things
Mhm.
that I want to get. This is the home that I want to purchase. My face on it is sold, says
Nice.
homeowner. So as you can see, just a few things. And
Yes.
then when I look at these every single day, that's when it gives me the clarity of like, this is what I'm focused on. This is what I want. So you kind of see the difference there between like an
Yeah.
inspiration and a vision board.
Yeah, exactly. And now, is this something that you're trying to accomplish like within the next year, or like what's kind of like the timeline that
That's
about like
perfect.
creating a vision board? I guess to kind of like narrow down, like to know exactly what type of goals to put on your vision board. How would that look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. I like to do it uh, per year,
Okay.
like have your vision board towards the end of the year. But depending on what your goals are, you can change them. You can have a 3-year vision board or a 5-year vision board. I wouldn't go over that just because beyond 5 years is really hard. But
Mhm.
I like the year, and I recommend starting there, especially for new vision boarders.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. All right. I really like that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Something that makes me curious, and I'm glad that you got up and you were showing us around, but that makes me very curious. Where exactly do you put your vision board?
Yeah, so I actually outside, and I don't mind taking you guys out there here in a little bit, but I have a meditation area to
Oh,
where I go out every day, and I sit there, and that's where I meditate. And typically my morning looks like um, meditation. I do about 12 minutes of meditation, anywhere from 12 to 20 minutes
Okay.
of silent meditation to really like relax, get in a relaxed state, relax the body, relax the mind. And then I'll do about 6 minutes of gratitude and visualization. And that's when I'll look at my vision board. So usually I'll start by thanking God, the Lord, the universe, whatever you want to call it, whether you're spiritual or not, or you could just say thank you
Mm-hmm.
for the basics and the basics of like the things that we, often take for granted. Like, thank you, God, for the ability to breathe. Thank you for another day. Thank you for my eyes. Thank you for my nose, and so on and so on, and build on that. And then I like to give gratitude for what's to come. And a lot of the times I'll give gratitude for things on my vision board that I haven't achieved yet.
okay.
Like, thank you, God, for the middle splits. Thank you for my jujitsu blue belt. Thank you for my new Tesla. And I'll give gratitude for these things and feel them and experience them as if I already have them. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a big part of visualization and manifesting. So many extremely high achievers have shared that of like, even Muhammad Ali says, who's also here up in my office,
Nice.
says that I said I was the greatest before I knew I was.
Mm.
Um, and that's something that we must do is embody that, feel those things, those emotions, those feelings that we're trying to attract. So I'll go through that, and then I'll read things that are also in my meditation space. I could take you guys out there here in a bit of a personal mission statement, which I help craft people in my program, help people craft that, and then some positive affirmations. So it's a really just like empowering morning routine. So by the end of my morning routine, I'm like, all right, let's get to work.
Right.
I
Nice.
like that.
Nice. Yeah. And I was going to say too, like, how important is all of those fundamentals to be applied together? Because, sometimes I feel like you can create this vision board and you might just have it, um, in your bedroom or somewhere where it might be pretty visible. Um, but then, you mentioning that you like meditate and actually get into the full zone of being able to manifest those things to you. Like, would you say that that's a huge like part of being able to manifest those things?
I think so, because I just turned 30 years old, and I can relate. I can relate to what you were just saying about like you're not the youngest guy in your job anymore, and like you start to you start to feel a sense of urgency, which is great
Yeah.
because life is short,
Yep.
right? And I would say that throughout most of my 20s, I used to like visualize things, but maybe just have like it written down, not even a vision board, and like maybe every now and then written down. I think what this does is actually having a daily practice and incorporating and embodying it is it just puts you on a fast track to really achieve these things.
That makes
Definitely.
sense.
It makes, yeah, it just makes it top of mind, and it makes it more powerful.
It's almost just like prioritizing your thoughts. Yeah.
Exactly.
Then honestly, I think that might be perfect too. That makes me curious. Do you show people your vision board, or like is that like another way you can have them hold you accountable? Or is it more of like a no, this is like me kind of thing? I don't even want you to. This is all me, or
Yeah, that's a great question too. So right now, just in like small intimate groups,
okay,
like I'm involved in a few intimate groups. I have an accountability group and a mastermind that I'm involved in, and those people, yeah, like where we talk about those things.
Mhm.
But it's not something that, at least with this specific one, that like I take a picture of and share on social media and things
Right?
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because I think
but
that's
I
there's
believe that
something.
that can be powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's something to like having people hold you accountable. You know, like if you have an accountability class, like that's perfect. That's literally what I'm talking about. Because like sometimes we need that little bit of an extra push. You know, I mean, obviously everybody has a lot of drive in their mind, but I've heard I want to say it's the Jocko method, or maybe it was David Goggins, but they talk about how motivation is kind of bullshit. You know, it's not really, or inspiration. It kind of just it can come and go, but actually getting there and doing the things is a different kind of thing. So I feel like having an accountability can be pretty powerful.
Yeah, and that's huge that you're doing that. That's like seriously inspiring because you're not only just helping yourself, but you're helping others to be able to, accomplish their goals. And you're like, hey, like, how does that work out for you? First of all, like, do you guys like hold like a meeting like every week type of thing, or how does that look like?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a weekly meeting, and I've created a custom tool, and I've actually been doing this for 6 years, just on my own time with close friends, and I've given a couple speeches about it in my Toastmasters clubs that I've been involved in, and other people have been like, "Hey, can you share that with me?" And it wasn't until I realized how impactful it has been in other people's lives of actually having your accountability spreadsheet that you list all your goals on, and how powerful it is when not only do you have your goals written down, but other people can see them, and at the end of the week they're going to ask, you're going to have to share whether you got them done or not and why. So that's kind of the essence of my program, is socializing accountability,
Love that.
because social influence is the strongest type of influence.
Yeah.
And when you can couple that with your own goals and accountability, it really creates for a very powerful system.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, seriously. I love that. So for those of you that are listening and want to check that out, want to have like an accountability buddy, definitely check out Ali's program. And what is it called again?
The Accountability Ascension Program. And you can just go to my site, aliabouzalam.com, or just my Instagram. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
Very nice.
No, I think that's very interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
Henry's like super into all that stuff. So he's the one that kind of brings that around us. We definitely see the programs come and go like on Instagram or like the things that we're looking through. But it is very interesting to see him do it. And he's explained it to me a whole bunch. And he's like, talked about having the accountability sheet and like meeting up with people and telling them like, dude, I told him I was going to go to the gym twice a week, but I only went once and I felt like crap. He's like, but whatever. Like I just have to tell him, So
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. That's perfect. I think we need to implement a little bit of that into our lives. So
Yes, for sure.
I think that's perfect. But another thing that you mentioned earlier, I thought was kind of perfect, is you have a significant other, right? And you guys both have vision boards. Do you guys have a vision board that you guys put together, or is it like two completely separate things? Or even if it is separate, do you guys have very similar things on your vision board, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. We don't have our like couples vision board.
Okay.
We each have our own vision board, but there are definitely some things that are aligned there.
Okay.
Another law of success and prosperity is the law of realism, and that's one that I struggled with all through my 20s, and that I still struggle with right now, is setting these unrealistic goals of like, oh well, you got to dream huge, you got to dream big, but you need to have the steps in between. Like when I first started my company BNail 6 years ago, I was like, we're gonna do $10 million in the first year. And it's like, dude, maybe try to get to 1 million first, right? And that's was always me, is like, oh, I want to be a billionaire. I want to be like a champion this. And it's just
Mhm.
like, okay, you have to have the steps. So we did have our vision boards because one of our dreams is to open these orphanage, castle schools types of things,
Nice.
to where primarily for orphans they can come be educated, get taught martial arts, yoga, and have like a home, but also a school. Because
That's
she's helped
amazing.
open 2 schools in Africa.
Oh, what?
Um, yeah, and I've helped, um, do martial arts stuff and scale business and just some other things to where we had those shared things on our vision board, but we realized like, okay, that's not realistic for us right now. Like
Mm.
we need to do a lot of things before we get to that level. So now some of the shared things that we put on there are like, I'm trying to get the side splits, she's trying to get the front splits.
Okay.
So we do like our split yoga things together. So more like things like that.
Okay.
I like that.
No, that's perfect because I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know. I don't wouldn't say that's something that we struggle with. We've just been together for so damn long that it just
Mhm.
feels like we're so freaking similar. So that when we do things like a vision board, it's like, what do you mean that's on your vision board? Like that's not on mine, frick. So it kind of just feels weird. So I was just curious.
Yeah, and I think that's just like good advice in general, just like for any couples out there that, have been together for quite some time and they might have two different goals, but then might have the same vision. So it was interesting to kind of, see your perspective on that. And also, I have another question, which is, I mean, is there really an age limit to be able to like create a vision board, or there's no age?
Yeah, can you be too old, too young?
No way. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you can, any age, you can create a vision board.
No, I love
Yeah.
that. I wish we would have started one earlier. I feel like these are things that I feel like we should be teaching our kids because I feel like it is super important. There's some sort of like a reoccurring thing. Like every year, people write down like what you want to do for the year. Like these are the things I want to do for my goals for this year. But like everybody puts like they'll write down a sheet of 10 or whatever, and then they put it away or they forget about it and they lose it, and then the next New Year's comes and it's like, all right, everybody, let's write down our goals for the year. And it becomes like this weird cycle of never looking at it. I
Hmm.
feel like that's definitely what I grew up like that. So getting to the point where having a vision board and literally having it somewhere where I can see it every day or the majority of every day or every day I walk into my bedroom or something like that, I feel like that's almost more important because like you were saying, it keeps me on track. It keeps me focused. Because without those reminders, I kind of get lost in like this life
Yeah,
cycle.
or
I
you
don't
might
know.
just like get caught up just with regular life
Yeah,
and you
just
just don't
routine.
focus on your goals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean that's truly amazing, to be able to talk about this. I think it's pretty important to be able to, you know, have something that you can look at and be able to accomplish.
Mhm. No, that was amazing. So honestly, I think we hit a lot of good things on this. You hit a lot of the blanks that I was trying to fill. So this was amazing. Thank you, Ollie.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
How can people find you just in general?
Yeah, I think my Instagram is a really good place, and that's just my first and last name, Ali Abouzalam, AliAbouzalam. That has a link to my website and just other links. I have one of those link tree things on there to where you can kind of go learn all about what I'm doing. So I would definitely start there on Instagram,
Nice, nice.
That's perfect. Yeah, I've
and
definitely
then
been stalking the heck out of you, man. I love every one of your posts. Those are amazing. So keep
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah, seriously, really inspiring. And, that's what definitely made us reach out to you because
Yeah, I think
we
it's
see
perfect.
something. So,
It's perfect, man. I love it, man. Don't stop.
yeah.
thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. And before I hop off here, I just wanted to say to your listeners is that um, just get started with one of these. Whether it's an inspiration board or a vision board, they are going to be really beneficial to your life. Maybe you're younger and you're like, you know what, I don't know what my 4 or 5 or 6 big goals are. Then you can just start with an inspiration board and put
Yep.
things that do inspire you. And sometimes you need that inspiration to really narrow down the vision.
Right. That can
But
be the
if
part that plants the seed. That's perfect. Hmm.
exactly, starting with that inspiration board. And then if you're a little further along, take the time and you want to actually hit goals. Just like you were saying earlier, it's because it was just until last year that I was kind of doing the same thing and not really using these of just like making New Year's resolutions. And I had my accountability sheet kind of holding me accountable, but it wasn't like this to where like these are the overarching goals. Then you break it down to like, all right, what do I need to accomplish this quarter, then this month, then this week, then today, then right now. And that's how you really create massive results through small, consistent action. So that's my biggest piece to the Sancho and Sancho community is to just get started, do one of them.
That's
I love
amazing.
that.
I freaking love that, dude. And good luck on your journey, dude. I just got my purple belt on Thursday, so dude,
Woo! Congratulations.
stick to it, man. It's a great journey. So yeah, don't stop that either, man. I think that's badass. I've never gotten in a fight. I don't really have big aspirations to do that. It takes big balls that I feel like I don't have. So congrats to you, man. That's amazing. But I love it, man. Everything that you're doing, I'm going to be a fan of yours for a long time. So I'll be following you for a while.
Thanks, brother. Well, I will say it's not about big balls. It's just about having a vision and executing towards it, man. Everybody can do it.
Yeah, there
Hell
we
yeah.
go. Yeah. Well, I think that would be a good way to kind of wrap things up. And, we never know. Maybe there'll be some time in the future where we can have you back on and we can, talk about something else. You definitely have that mindset that we are, trying to have like on the podcast. So
Yeah, I think we can keep it really specific like this. I would love to have you back on. I feel like you're almost like a little endless little book of knowledge that we can come back to. I think that'd be great.
seriously. Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
For
Yeah.
sure. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you so much for your time. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, dude. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy that weather out there. The
I
weather's not
know.
that great out here in Colorado today. It's kind of cloudy.
Yeah, it's like a little
so,
bit gloomy.
yeah, so I'm jealous, damn it.
I definitely will, my friends. Try to enjoy the gloominess.
For sure. For
All
sure,
right.
man.
Thank you so much, Ali.
Hell yeah, man. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you. Take
All
care.
right. Take care. Bye now.
See ya.
Bye-bye.